Good evening. Two road construction workers are dead after a pickup slammed into them.
It happened just before 6 this morning on Interstate 69, just north of 465 in Indianapolis. News 10's John Swanner spoke with Indiana State Police about the dangers of construction zones. In tonight's top story, police remind us how you drive in these zones can be the difference between life and death. John?
That's right, Mike and Patrice, and we do these stories all the time. In fact, just this past Monday, we talked with state police who urge motorists in these zones to slow down and use caution. Today, we got a grim reminder of why we do these stories and why this is a message you can never repeat enough. Indiana State Police say the two men were just minutes from wrapping up their overnight paving shift when the accident happened. Investigators are still not sure why a 22-year-old driver did not move over to avoid hitting the men. Now, those two men will never again go home to their families.
They're doing their job, ready to pick up and call it a day, and because of some inattention of the driver or something that we don't know of yet, he's ended that far.
Indiana State Police Sergeant Joe Watts has worked these zones many times throughout his career. When a trooper hears of an accident like this, he or she thinks about the families of the deceased. Then they wonder what caused the accident. And then there's this.
Well, this crash should send out a message to everyone: slow down, be patient, and use caution when entering these zones.
Sergeant Watts understands that driving through these zones can be frustrating because it takes so much time to drive through them. However, he says driving faster through them doesn't really save you that much time, and the time you could save could prove to be very costly.
If you take a 5 to 10 mile construction zone and you reduce the speed by 15 miles per hour so people can travel safely through that zone, you may lose 5 minutes on the end of your entire travels. It's not worth the 2 to 5 minutes you may lose in damaging your life, injuring your life or someone else's.
And a good message there from Sergeant Watts, and that's why Indiana State Police heavily patrol these zones. Watts says you'll typically find troopers at the ends of these zones and sometimes throughout them in an effort to get people to simply slow down. It's a lot of manpower, but when you're talking about saving lives, Watts says the Indiana State Police feel that manpower is well worth it. Mike, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, John.